Is this the year of the girl? Over on the internet, perhaps girl internet, we've seen a rapid use of terms such as girl math, girl dinner, a girl's girl, and so on. What does it mean to be a girl? Is this an inclusive term? Do we want to be women or do we want to be girls? Let's discuss.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jenny Brady. I founded Day of the Girl and Day of the Girl Cincinnati over 11 years ago, really to showcase and spotlight the voices of girls and the issues and challenges that girls and women were facing worldwide. Everything from lack of opportunity, lack of access to education, gender-based violence, reproductive rights. And what we really wanted to do is to create this local event on International Day of the Girl Child to shine a light on those issues and to also shine a light on the heroes that girls are, how they face those obstacles and challenges, and what they have to say about them. So that's how we started. Here we are today, 12 years later, doing a podcast, and you're going to hear from Kinsey, Claire, and Camille, and we're going to have a great conversation today. But first, let us introduce ourselves. So Kinsey, we'll start with you.
Hi, my name is Kinsey Sullivan, and I am a senior at St. Ursula Academy in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I love talking about Day of the Girl because I think it's so inspirational and empowering to just see the next generation of girls grow up with the sense that they can be anything they want to be and they can do anything they want to do because they don't have anything holding them back.
Thanks, Kinsey. Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire Wagner, and I'm a senior at Anderson High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. I joined Day of the Girl because I saw the work that they had done in years prior, and I knew that that was the place that I wanted to work with, and a group of people I really like to be around. We've done so many things with Day of the Girl, and I'm so excited that this is our first podcast.
Thanks, Claire. And Camille, over to you.
Hi, I'm Camille. I am graduated from Northwestern University and am actually in Berlin doing English teaching assisting. And I've been with Day of the Girl since near the beginning. And it's just exciting to see how it's evolved.
Thank you, Camille. We are all excited to be with you all today. Thank you for listening. And with that, we're going to turn things over to Camille and to Claire and to Kinsey so we can lead the conversation from there. Camille, over to you.
Yes, indeed. So the theme of our podcast today is not just Day of the Girl, but is this the year of the girl? We're going to talk about the pop culture, the economic culture, and so much more. Would you agree that this is a year of the girl?
I mean, I would hope it's the year of the girl. I love girl power. I love inspiring women. And I mean, I think we've really seen a growth in girls supporting girls throughout the last few years with everything that's happened on women's rights. So I am hoping it continues throughout this year and even into the future.
Yeah, I think with the increased access and increased distribution of TikTok and very user-minded algorithms, I think there's been a lot more girls supporting girls through different trends like girl math, girl dinner, or being a girl's girl. And I think there's been a lot of step back from using phrases like girly girl in sort of a dehumanizing way. And now it's kind of being used by other women just to support one another. So yeah.
Yes. So Claire, you brought up TikTok and Jenny, I want to know, do you have TikTok?
I do not. I can click on links that people send me on TikTok, but I don't have an account. Day of the Girl does have an account though.
Well, let's start talking about girl math because I think that was one of those things that started on TikTok, but because TikTok just sends you what it thinks you want to see, I didn't actually hear about this until preparation for this. Can someone explain girl math to me? What is that?
Basically, it's this concept of spending money in a girl way. So, for example, let's say you buy 3 dresses from Altered State, 2 of them don't fit, you return them, and you get 2 more dresses, you just got 2 dresses for free. Would you look at that? It's so funny to me. I mean, I use it. If I'm gonna make a return, I just made $10. I don't know what you're talking about.
Another big part that's been well known within girl math is when you use cash, it's basically free because the money is already out of your account. Is this a smart way to be spending your money whatsoever? No, but it is fun, which I really like about it. I think a big part is that it's a lot of justifying purchases. So, for an example, like buying a Taylor Swift ticket, that is a lifelong moment that's going to stick with you for like the rest of your life. So that's of course going, it's like another way to justify. So it could be a $700 ticket, but priceless memories.
Or like you
Right.
go get your nails done for $60. Well, they're on for 3 weeks. So really it's $3 a day. That's not even that much. That's basically free.
Okay, I think I'm getting kind of the hang of this. Have any of you used girl math recently to justify your own purchases?
I usually use cash to pay for my stuff because I babysit, and that's not really, the money doesn't go into a checking account that I have. I get it all in cash, which is nice because no taxes. So I just like see it disappear, but really it's just the money I made. Like my account isn't being touched. So if I work and get $70, I have $70 to spend. That doesn't mean anything. It's perfect.
Now, some may say that you should save money, but what is money not to, spend it?
I kind of use the expression girl math. I was at a lunch with my mom and 5 sisters, one of 6 kids. And so we were trying to figure out how to divide the bill, but we wanted to treat 2 of the sisters who were there. And so I just used it as an opportunity to say, okay, I'm doing like girl math, which was kind of funny, but it did kind of open the door for us to talk about it. And my sister-in-law, who is a teacher, she knew what girl math was because all of her high school students talk about it. And the way she explained it is like, here's an example. So you can buy a t-shirt online for $19.99 free shipping. And you're like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Or $14.99 with $5 shipping. Is like, no way, I wouldn't do that. But in the $19.99 scenario, you got the shipping free. So she's like, oh, that's a deal. So I think it's kind of this way of like justifying our spending and or splurges, but really I think everybody does that. But I do like that the term girl math has brought a little bit more attention to how women do think about their spending. I often think about how I can be generous and justify that, whether it's with a generous tip or just giving back or doing something that I don't know, you might not feel you don't have to do, and maybe you don't even have the money to do, but you want to be generous and you want to give. So I kind of think of that as like my girl generosity too, if you will.
I kind of love that tipping example because I always go overboard with tipping. I feel like, 'cause I'm like, well, I mean, I don't need it. So, like, I don't know if they need it, but they might. So, oh well. Like, I just love that kind of idea. And what you said about giving back, that's a great way to justify things as well.
I feel like it sounds like something that could be offensive, like, oh, girl math. But and also the idea that we have to constantly be justifying our purchases when there's this idea, the stereotype that girls do buy more. And I think there are statistics where there are things that women definitely spend more money on than men. And even when we think about commercials and like how products are marketed toward women, it's with the expectation that women are going to be spending more money or being the primary spenders of money in the household. And I feel like that kind of clashes with the idea of men being the traditional breadwinners of the household, if I can get my sociology mindset in here. So honestly, I think it's not just empowering for girls and women, but also literally empowering the economy because we're out here spending, and depending on how we spend our money, like local businesses. I always say I can spend way more money if it's a local business because boom, got to support local. I can spend more if it's a Black or brown business. I'm like, because my people. I can spend a little more if I can get a kilo of clothes from the thrift store because hey, I'm saving that from the landfill. I'm keeping fit products in circulation. So I think that's like the best type of girl math.
Yeah, no, I definitely love that. I think about like the thrift stores and saving it from the landfill. Another thing I use when I'm thrifting is if it's under $5, it's basically free. which is definitely not like it's a problematic way to go about things. But have I gotten amazing clothes from it? Yes. So, and the other thing is a big part of girl math is if it is like on sale for more than 30% off, that's a steal. Like you have to buy it. Would you have bought it if it didn't say 30% off? No. But because it is, you just have to.
Literally me with Lululemon like last week. I'm like trying to apply for colleges and I find these pair of flare pants, like hot pink, mind you. Like I don't wear hot pink, but I was like, I'm gonna wear these all the time, Mom. Like you gotta get them for me. She's like, Kinsey, what? And I'm like, they're 50% off. Like you gotta get them. And she's like, fine, but you have to apply to college before you actually get them. And I was like, deal. Sounds good to me. Like I made money on that purchase. Like what a steal.
I'm just wondering too, like if your work in period poverty and understanding how certain taxes work and that like period products have taxes, whereas like some male products kind of in a similar category don't, whether it's eyeglasses or shaving products. Like just wondering if kind of learning about those things brings you any awareness to, in general, like economic impacts or disparate economic impacts to women and girls, and even how we think about our own spending in that context.
Honestly, like the pink tax is such a big thing, and I run cross country, and the body glide for chafing, it's a must have. But I have the blue one, and my friend has the pink one, and I was like, "Well, what's the difference between them?" She goes, "I don't know," and I was like, "Well, I guess mine just costs less because it's blue." And we looked it up, and it does because I guess there's that pink tax again because it was specifically made for women. And I don't know, it kind of gets annoying, but also in contexts like that, I'm like, well, if it's made for women, maybe it's a little better. Like maybe, especially for like perfumes and stuff, I'm like, I don't want to smell like a guy. Like I'll splurge on this. But something like Body Glide, I'm like, this is fine. Like I will survive with the blue Body Glide.
When it's like blue or pink in color, like razors and stuff like that, it is the same thing. But they're going to make one look more feminine and it's going to cost more, which is definitely crazy. And I don't know why there are now like regulations stopping companies from doing this. However, I feel like because we as women have to deal with this, we should be able to splurge on concert tickets more often because, yeah.
Those memories are gonna last a lifetime, Claire. Those
Yeah.
videos of me screaming into my phone, priceless.
Right. I mean, I'll say that with the whole period tax, it always is a pure and delight for there to be free period products in a place because they should just be there. I mean, the cost of all the products does add up unless you get a Diva cup. But not everyone's at Diva cup level. And if you don't know what that is, that's a cup that catches the blood instead of other things. So that was your little fill-in if you didn't know what that was. But there are companies and brands from women, hopefully some of them run by women, that are trying to innovate ways to reduce the cost and the waste associated with things like period specifically. I would love to see more of that energy across different brands. I mean, on the razor example, I just was like, you know what? I can get a 7-blade razor in the men's section for the same as price as a 3-blade razor in the women's section. And I mean, I'm not here getting 7-blade razors, but if that's you and if that's what you need, then go get it. But just I think that there are ways for companies to be more ethical, and that maybe that has to do with the piece of supporting, cool, ethical women-owned brands, but also maybe not a lot of them exist in today's society. And so we do have to deal with a lot of the BS of having overpriced essential goods. But also, I think it's a privilege for, as Jenny said, for even to have this range of option and choice available and to even have the affluence to make these choices.
There's nothing more humbling than walking into a store and buying like 4 boxes of tampons. And at that point, I'm at like over $60. So I'm like, I might as well get Hershey Kisses. Like, look at these bad boys. They're right next to my bag. Like, it's just so humbling. And I don't know why they're that expensive when they're such a necessity. Like, I don't know. It's kind of annoying in a sense.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the work you've done on like period poverty and period products and menstruation movement essentially does assert that, right? Yeah, so I'm glad for the work of the advocacy for the pink tax, right? Or to basically eliminate the pink tax, right? And certainly making products available in places where one would find them, whether at a school or in a public restroom, goes a long way too. So
And I
Yeah.
mean, I've been in a pretty privileged situation my whole life where I always have them available to me. And at my school, there's always been them, but I know there's places where like people are using toilet paper or socks even. And it's just sad because I would never want to use a sock. Like, but it has to happen sometimes because of the prices for these things and the pink tax. It's a sad thing.
There's a lot of stigma around periods in the first place, and although period products are available in nurses stations for like every school, there's like no kid wants to walk to the nurses station after already like asking to use the bathroom just to ask for a pad or a tampon. And there's so many children more afraid of like what people will think of them and like how they could appear, that like they'd rather just use toilet paper. So now that they're going to start, I think within the next year or two, they're going to start implementing putting period products in all restrooms.
Well, I think the bill got passed this July, didn't
Yeah.
it, Jenny? Where they allocated $5 million to Hamilton, I think just the state of Ohio, not Hamilton County specifically, but putting it in both private and public schools and charter schools too. Just putting those period products in bathrooms. I think some schools might still be in the nurse's office. Either way, they're going to have access to them. But I agree. I don't like when they're in the nurse's office because it's so embarrassing having to like go to class. This literally happened to me today. Like I went to econ, I went to the bathroom, bam. I looked down, there's red. I got to get up, walk back into class, and walk right back out. That was because I mean, there were stuff in there. There were just pads. I'm not a pad girly, guys. I like my tampons. I don't know. I don't like doing it. It's not that I'm embarrassed. It's that it's inconvenient for me and I would like to get back to class.
Yes. And justice for pad girlies and tampon girlies alike. I'm going to wrap this up giving your thoughts on where do you want to do more girl math today or this year? In what area of your life or spending are you going to keep on girl mathing?
My first watch brunches. They're never going away. Saturday lunches, me and my friend, well, especially in summer, but we love going to first watch. That's where we spill all the tea. And it's perfect because I'm going to learn a lot in my mind. So this $14 I spend on French toast is worth it every single time.
I love first watch. I miss first watch and I yearn for first watch. This is not a first watch ad.
I think I know who I'm going to go to for sponsorships, right?
Yeah,
they take all my money, I swear.
Yeah, girls got to eat a hearty breakfast.
I know, I'm growing, I got to grow.
Girls got to grow.
Sarah, how about you? Where are you going to use your math?
Definitely what I use my girl math for the most is my trips from Target to go to Target with a friend, go buy stuff that is unnecessary, and then going to get City Bird spicy chicken sandwiches afterwards. It's a 2-in-1 deal, and it does spend a lot of my paycheck, but it is amazing. And it's my socializing. Like, what else would I do? There's nothing else to do in Anderson.
It's a form of therapy, you can either spend $200 at a therapist or you can spend $200 at Target. Which one's gonna make you happier? It's the shopping trip, guys.
Camille, how about you? Can we hear from you where you're going to be using girl math?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for in the charity direction because I really can't. I'm not gonna say I'm a shopaholic, but I spend a lot of time, too much time on Pinterest and websites and Redbubble and the stores of whenever I'm in person looking at things, knowing I don't have money to buy them. So if I'm going to spend money, I'm going to spend it on someone who needs it so they can buy things that they need instead of me buying things I don't need.
I love it. Okay, I'll answer because I'm still trying to get over some of the stigma, like we kind of alluded to. To me, girl math can be seen and felt as condescending, just because that's kind of my history with how the word girl can be used. So I feel like I'm fighting that a little bit. Like, I know how to do math, pretty good at it. And I think, though, where I want to use it is more like how I think about investing too, because I'm not really educated in that space. So trying to think about, maybe I don't do this, like buy something, if I could think about making like a little investment or savings. So that's where I'm trying to.
I'm in econ right now, and did you guys know that women are more likely to succeed in risks and investments than men are? They're more successful in their risky investments. What can I say? Girl math at its finest.
Yeah, no, I was reading one of my classes that men are more likely, like in these like positions of like Wall Street and like trading and all that stuff, men are more likely to make like riskier investments and more high risk investments than women are in the same positions.
Wow. And in this paper, I'll be discussing how men caused the 2007 recession. That would be an interesting dissertation, but that's not the goal of Day of the Girl. Yeah, so we have generosity, girl talk, treating ourselves to investment and steady accumulation of wealth for the purpose of living safely and happily.
Bravo.
Bravo. Okay.
Bravo, Susan.
Girl dinner.
So I'm just snacking for a meal. Like,
I feel like my girl icon at the moment is Sofia Coppola, the director.